Hello, everyone. Hi. Let me get myself already up on TikTok. And TikTok, you don't stop. Hey. All right. So, happy Black Friday. It's either you shopped yourself to death, you're still kind of full or nibbling up on some of the leftovers from last night. Hey, welcome in. How you doing? Oh, why did I invite you up? I'm not sure. Sorry. I was just going to say hi with people. Um, but this is Audrey Unscripted. For those that don't know me, I have been tutoring for this is my fifth year. I've been teaching for like 22 years. I was once married, now I'm divorced. This is my first holiday being officially a single person. I don't know. It's still kind of weird. But everything else is kind of going and flowing the way they're supposed to. So I just wanted to kind of share in some of my shenanigans. Thank you for all you guys that are sharing, coming in, especially on the TikTok live and also some of my Facebook people. Now, I just kind of want to hope that you guys are doing awesome. Hey, Marcus. And hopefully everything is going well with your holidays because I know it usually gets kind of weird. I'm not doing anything scripted. I'm just literally going to be here chit chatting and showing some of the things that I want to do. I'm not really going to be inviting people up, but we're just going to see how things go. But here's a couple of things that kind of jumped at me because Black Friday used to be my favorite time of the year because people used to go nuts when it came down for Black Friday. It was just like people would go, all right, I'm going to age myself here. We used to go to Clover, Bambergers. Ever heard of Gimbals? Okay, Gimbals was before Macy's, so that shows a little bit of my age. I know, I'm like, what? Sturbridge and Clover, and then they came Clover, and then after Clover, then Target bought them out. That shows how old I am. So I used to love it, especially when Best Buy just came about. Yeah, I'm that old. And people would just sleep overnight. And I'm not even sure if people do that anymore, right? Like they used to stay up overnight and just kind of like camp out for a bit and just to see how things were going. And it just remember I just went out just for a little bit and it was so quiet. Like compared to what I'm used to. Like I'm used to the last time I went, there was this older lady, they were fighting over a big screen TV, and it was this older lady and this younger gentleman. And next thing you know, the older lady was like, "You're gonna get off that TV." And the guy was like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, yes, you are." And out of nowhere, she reaches in her bag, she whips out a hammer. Who is walking around with a hammer? But apparently, grandma was looking for a hammer, so she whips out this hammer and she's like, "I know you're gonna get off that TV." No one does that anymore. Why do I feel like I miss out on that? So here's my thing. It's just a matter of like those are the little things that used to happen. Then recently, I usually buy like gift cards for friends and family. And here's one thing you have to watch out for. I don't think anyone has that. Everyone talks about the gift card scams, and you got to go through almost like damn near have to give them a blood sample and everything else just to buy a gift card nowadays. And I love when they say, you can't get your money back once you pay for it. I'm like, yeah, I know it's a gift card. Like, duh. So went there yesterday. Totally forgot this one kid. I was like, oh shoot. So I'm shopping at Giant and grocery store for some of you guys that might not know. Shopping at Giant. And then I was like, oh, gift cards. Duh, I can get one here. All right. This is not where I usually go get a gift card. So I go into the store. I get my little shopping in, grab what I need to grab, and I took a gift card. And I don't take it from the front. I'll just kind of like get in the middle of the mix because I know some people get weird with it, right? So I'm just like, all right, got home, I opened up my gift card. This one in particular. It's $100, try to get a little spice of life with some people. And then I opened the back, and all of a sudden, like the back end of it, I could show it because I already got in touch with Apple. The back end of it comes completely off. And I'm like, damn, do I have to be like Shira up in here and just whipping it out? So most of it came off on the very back. You can probably see. So I'm like, all right, it's the back. As long as we get the code, everything's going to be okay. So I take it out of its envelope. And this is what I see. What's missing? It doesn't have a code. If I zoom it in a little bit, I know it's going to be a little fuzzy for Facebook. Someone or something cut the code off, completely off. Cut the code, because usually it's like a silver piece that's right there. Someone cut it off completely. Oh, my girl Wakanda. Haven't seen you in forever. Cut the whole thing completely off. But remember, in these newer envelopes, there's a piece that goes here, right? So of course, they rip it off so they can get the code. I can just show you. They get the code off the back just so you can purchase it. So this was completely sealed. So I'm not an idiot that it was partially open. Like, it was completely sealed.
They checked it.
Isn't it crazy?
You know what? My mother has this phrase that only she uses. I've never heard nobody else use it. Somebody yanked you. That's what she calls it.
So,
I'm like, what? She's like, girl, you can't find. Oh, well, did somebody yank you? That's what she said. That's what it is. You got yanked. You saw that? Somebody got you.
Completely yanked. So for people that are on Facebook, you're probably like, who are you talking to? I was like, all right. It's like, because I'm doing a little TikTok and Facebook combo. But that's basically it. Like, they took the whole thing. Like, they cut it out completely. And then had it all sealed up. So I'm taking it out and I'm like, oh, okay. We're going to call Apple. But of course, it's a holiday. So everything's closed up. So I reached out to them this morning, had an awesome talk with the person, with the representative. It was great. We were over here chit-chatting. But I'm going to get, another card, of course, and they're going to send it and do their whole process.
Okay.
So that's one. Then the other part, you have to be careful. This didn't happen this year. This part that I'm about to say happened like last year. Yeah, it was last year, but it was like around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was before this newer design. And it was probably because of this newer design. So they had, when you had the envelope, just a piece that you slide in. So I went silly, bought it at Walmart because I was in a rush. I wanted to take the shortcut. I was being lazy. So this is what happened. So I got the thing. I have to lift this up a little bit. Sorry. We might go flying. So when I opened it, it was originally for like one of those that went to 50 to 500. Of course, I wasn't paying that much because I'm not doing that. So I opened it. Inside was a 100. Like, it definitely said 100 at the top, but it's supposed to say like 50 to 500. It was only a $50 gift card. Wait, what? Why is this 100? Had it completely installed. So I'm like, guys, if you're going to do gift cards, I know we love the convenience of it. I know you love it. But here's my thing. Go to the Apple store. I know it's crazy, but once you go and meet that person, you say that I need gift cards, they'll send you right to the back where it says the pickup part. Just go to that. Just go to the Apple store, get whatever gift card you want to get. That's it. If not the Apple store, Best Buy. Those are the only two places that I would recommend. Any supermarket, CVS, all that. No, just don't do it. Just don't do it.
You just don't know who working back there trying to get over. That's messed up.
Exactly. So you're sitting here like, oh, I'm going to give someone joy. And then all of a sudden you give them this. So, so be cautious. Don't be like Audrey.
I mean, that's messed up, though. I'll get some dirty folks in the world, man. That's messed up.
Tis the season. And I'm like telling you, tis the season. So, I mean, I was just like, all right, this is going to be one Thanksgiving that I'm going to chill. I didn't go home to Philadelphia. I stayed my butt here in Baltimore because I was not going to sit into no traffic. I saw how the traffic was on Wednesday, backed up, and I wasn't going to do it. So I love my mom. She had some friends that she went out and she was like, oh, we're going to have a cool day. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of retired teachers. And I was like, don't get arrested. I ain't got bail money. She's like, but they were retired teachers. I'm like, no. Teachers on break.
Don't be out here getting wild.
No. Keep it to a cup. Keep it here. Keep it here. I want you to have fun. I want you to get geek and all that stuff. And I'm not expecting a phone call until tomorrow. But don't get arrested.
Keep it at the ones and twos. Because listen, when you start doing all that extra stuff, that's how you get caught up.
No.
Don't do it.
Exactly. We're not doing that. So we're just trying. Audrey is slowly coming back. It's been a long time just trying to get myself situated. And I think all of us are feeling that way. So how are you? I haven't talked to you in forever. And people, go ahead.
I'm doing okay for an old woman. I went back to teaching.
Okay.
And baby. Lord help. Now I have made it through all of 2020, made it through all of 21, made it through all of 22, made it through all of 23. Soon as I went back to teaching this year, I wouldn't have worked 2 weeks, and I got C19.
Really?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Wow.
I went through all that without having not one trace of it. I'll go back to school 2 weeks to go back to teaching. And within 2 weeks, I was already out.
That's crazy.
And what's worse is I gave it to my mom and my dad. And because I didn't know. We had none of us had ever had it. And so I was out for a whole week. And the best thing I did was start taking antibiotics. As soon as I started feeling this like funky thing in my throat, best thing I ever did, because it would have been way worse. But yeah, girl, it was bad.
Gotcha.
It was bad. It was. And but other than that, I've been doing pretty good, and possibly eyeballing a move to California next year, maybe.
Oh, whereabouts?
Probably Southern Cali.
Okay.
Southern Cali. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I'm thinking about it.
You're getting ready to the heat. You're just like, look, I need some heat. Heat and earthquake.
I'm in heat already. I'm in Arkansas.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I'm in heat already. but no, it's just that I'm in Arkansas.
Yeah. I got you.
And with this whole new situation we're about to encounter, I don't think I want to be here.
Yes.
So
let's talk about that. I know you've been talking about it on your area for a while, and I've been seeing a lot of your posts. Like, guys, you don't understand that this whole thing of possibility of Project 2025, it is real. And for all those people that are sending their kids to public schools, and the public school kids are just barely doing whatever they got to do, think about all those free resources that you're getting. Like those resources that helps with like your lesson plans, helping with your books, helping with your keeping record of your grades, be able to contact parents with just a click of a mouse. All that, unless that license is going to expire in a couple of years, you'll be okay. But if it's going to expire at the end of this school year, you're going to have to say goodbye to it. Once that passes, they say goodbye to all that.
And of all the people, Linda McMahon. That's who you want to put in charge of education. They don't know first, second, or third about education. That's who, and with every person he picks, the more it comes into play. Every person he picks, the more 2025 comes into play. And I'm telling you, and the thing about it is, MAGA people have no idea what's coming. No. Because according to Trump, he had nothing to do with it. But it's mighty funny that they are so out of touch that right before he said he had nothing to do with it, it was on his page.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's not gonna hide anything.
Yeah.
Well,
a flat out.
he's not gonna hide that.
As soon as he won, he was like, and Steve Bannon's running around going, "Oh yeah, by the way, the agenda is Project 2025." I'm like, the only person that didn't know that was MAGA. We knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
But the disappointment of it all is that I wrote a letter to a friend of mine and I said, what I realized is that this country is still united in hate, united in misogyny, and now because of those two, they're united in self-destruction. So that's what we're dealing with. At the end of the day, we're about to go into the frontier of the United States self-destructing from the inside out. And some of us know what's coming, and the rest of them are going to be in for a very rude awakening.
Yes,
so, it is. I hope everybody's prepared because that's what we're dealing with. Yeah.
I just feel like I don't want to make this too political, but I did say it was going to be unscripted because I'm just sitting here talking and just really want to reconnect, especially with people that I haven't talked to in a while. Not because I was just being bougie, because I was like creating stuff and really taking a moment to look and observe. And it seems like there is a divide, and I'm not sure if I was just being overly sensitive about things, but sometimes it's like the glares, the looks, and I'm just like, why am I getting an extra glare and a look? Am I looking that fierce today? Is it because of something else? Or, now it's like I'm venturing further. I'm trying to venture further into my businesses because now I don't want to I love tutoring. I really do. I'm expanding. Like now I'm getting into Alaska. Like I'm starting to be hot and happening in Alaska. Okay. I don't know how to happen, but let's go. I'll take it. I accept it. Thank you, God. Let's go. But it just seems like there's something else, and I'm starting to see also a shift with our young ladies and seeing a lot of our things that used to protect us is slowly going away, and then soon enough it's going to be a big boom. And I'm starting to see a lot of young ladies that are just not feeling comfortable with themselves. Like they feel like they have to emulate someone else to be a part of something bigger. And I'm like, why? And it took me a long time. Like, I'm going to be truthful. I was never always thinking that, oh, yes, I'm this, I'm that.
No, me neither.
And it was never like, it's not like my mom didn't say that she loved me and all this stuff because that was there. But it's always, like how society looks at you, how you progress, how you should dress. Because I know being raised with a pencil skirt just wasn't happening for my booty. Like it just was not designed for this dump truck back here.
Well, honey, that's how you feel about yours, honey. Mine don't stand a chance. So
it was like the only thing we had back then was like if you were a certain size, you went past that, you had a muumuu. And that was at Lane Bryant's, and that was it. Like, that's all Lane Bryant's had. But then all of a sudden, Lane Bryant was like, no, we need to sexify ourselves. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, the style started getting... it's so funny, like, how I could see those changes and see how it, like, progressed. But then I was like, look, how can I not so much start, like, a girls group, but how can I, like, support... to let these young women to be like, you are gorgeous. Yeah. Your nose is fine. Your eyes is fine. Your complexion is fine. What you believe in is fine. Like, how can I support that? And I think that's needed.
Yeah. My cousin has an organization called She Incorporated.
Okay.
And she runs it here, and it helps less fortunate young ladies and helps them build their confidence, whether it be through training and teaching or if they're about to go into college and they need the kind of assistance on how to write, papers and all kind of things to apply for. It's just an all around thing. And it's really taken off. And you know what came to me the other day, and I was like, I wonder why they stopped doing it. I don't know if you remember when I was a kid. I went to the mailbox and there was this pink, it almost looked like a cake box.
Okay.
And it came in the mail.
Okay.
And when I opened it, it had a card in it. And it was like, welcome to being a young lady. Ooh. And it had feminine products in it.
Oh.
Really? It had samples of different kinds of like Kotex and all the different products. It had all that in there, and it had a letter, and it was from one of my friends who they came to her school, and she wrote down so many friends of hers for them to send kits to. I was like, I wonder why they don't do that anymore.
Oh, no, we didn't have that. We didn't have it at all.
In Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we had that. I was like, why don't they do that anymore?
I don't know.
They need to bring that back. It was something and it made you feel special. Like, oh, okay, I'm stepping into this, being a young lady. Oh, honey, because I was confused as heck. Not that because my mother she didn't really talk to me about that. Mm-hmm. But when it happened, because I was scared, I thought I was unalive, and girl, I thought I was leaving here. I was like, what is this? Oh my God, man. Yeah, so, but yeah, I don't know why they don't do that anymore. They need to bring that back. They do, because there's a lot of young ladies that don't have products. I didn't know it was that bad. Yes. I didn't.
Once you go back to the classroom, and all those things that they ask to bring to the classroom, I'm always like, for me, I will never forget this one particular school. I was still married, and I spent, no lie, in that whole year, close to $5,000 buying personal products of my own money, buying personal products, buying lotion, sanitary products, deodorant. Unfortunately, the Axe spray. Sorry, Andy, I didn't know. But it was the funk or no funk. I was like, let me get an Axe spray, something to kill this. Well, my thing is, because he does all the fragrances and all that stuff, and he's probably going to be listening to like, what? Really, of all the things? But I wasn't trying to get all Gucci'd up for these kids. It would not surprise me if he hit the request, but like, I know you did just say that. Because I don't want to insult his business, his thing. But my thing is like, I spent a lot on like, not just school supplies. Like, I spent a lot of money on personal products. And I think a lot of people don't understand. They think that they still have that special little machine in the bathrooms nowadays. They do not. Really? They do not. Not at the schools that I've been to. They do not. And if they do have it, no one's filling it up. You are right. You know what? You're right, because they don't hit my school either. Nope. They do not. I never even thought about it. Girl, had you not said nothing, I hadn't even thought about the fact that it's not even there. Yep. It's not. And I mean, that's why when they do come and that happens, I mean, like, I was supplying, I felt like the whole senior and junior class at that one particular school that I was at, because they know, oh, let me go see Miss Audrey. Or let me go see Miss Cotton or Miss Gibson or whatever it is. And they're like, I'll be in the middle of the class talking about, all right, now do the derivative problem. Miss Cotton, do you got it? I'm like, oh, hi. How you doing? But at the time, I was just like, you know where it is. As long as you don't abuse it, I can help and supply you. The teacher that, the person that had the classroom prior to me, she has a whole drawer full of those kind of things. And so I was in the hallway going to the teacher's lounge, and the student was like, oh man, I don't have. And I was like, I said, come with me. And I turned right back around and said, come with me. And I brought it back to my classroom, and I pulled the drawer open, and I was like, take what you need. And I was happy to be able to do that, because I'm telling you, I can't imagine being a young lady and not having that.
I can't imagine what that must feel like. And that's why we to be like, I don't have what I need, and this is something that's happening to me just because I have no control over it. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But not having the supplies that I need, that is so.
So even those single fathers, when you're thinking, like sometimes we don't, you don't think about that stuff. And when they're going to school, you're like, all right, I supplied them with money, I supplied them with their school supplies and all of that. But then we also got to remember, especially when they get to that age, also, supply your teachers with that and just say, hey,
And it seems to be happening younger.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I was 11, but I'm hearing of 8-year-olds.
Yes. Oh, it's
and I'm just
because of our diets.
What?
Our diets are all screwed up. We got so much chemicals going in there. Our bodies are all kinds of jacked.
All these injections to these animals that they doing, I believe, honey, that it is affecting more than just these animals. I believe we getting it in the milk. Yeah. I believe all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, oh my God. And I got a little cousin now. They actually had to give her something. She was about to start at 7.
Ooh.
The doctor was like, okay, we're going to have to give her something to delay.
Yeah.
Because she was already advancing that quickly. And I'm just like, she loved milk as a kid. Oh, I had never met a kid that loved milk more than she does. And I think that's what it was, honestly. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
So these are the things. Like, go ahead and chime in. I see my favorite DJ on here. I haven't seen you in so long time. MJ. Right? Love his Saturday mornings. I'm going to try to get myself up this Saturday. I don't have any plans, but we're going to try to make it early this time. But if anyone has any comments or anything, Facebook, where am I? I'm like YouTube, TikTok, I'm just all over the place right now. But it's just a matter of like, there's so many things like as we're progressing and we're sitting here telling to prepare, like there's just small things. And if I may, I'm going to put like a shameless plug because we were talking about our young ladies and I was like really seriously thinking about this. And I actually made, because I'm on Amazon now. Girl is progressing. You leave a girl alone for a month, she gonna get some work done. So I actually made an activity book. So it's called She Creates. It's like an activity coloring book. It has like some activities in the back of it, some places where you can actually start conversations, because sometimes you want to talk to the kids, but sometimes the girls don't know what to say. So I have like some conversations that, things that you want to say. What are 5 things that you like about yourself and why? And then just put it in a fun way that if they don't like to write, if they like to draw, they can draw their answers if they want to. And then I'm trying to do real young ladies. Like it seemed like a lot of the coloring books, which is great, but sometimes I feel like we're being a little objectifying them a bit. So it's like, yeah, I love my curves. I love all about the curves. But sometimes when you have someone that's 8, 9, 10-year-old, they don't want to be like, oh, I'm all loving about my curves. Like sometimes they just want to have some affirmations, get some real pictures in there, just something to have. And I have to admit, I did not draw all these, but I have some people. And I was like, help me out. Because I really and truly wanted to get like some people real live doing real things. And also it's called She Creates. So that's like she creates joy. She creates passion. She creates, sometimes we create drama. We create art and music and adventure and voice. And I really wanted to put that in there. Like I even have my sister girl right here. She's sweet. She's beautiful. She's covered. It's not like, okay, boobs up to the chin, booty that's still on the second page. You're still covering. But it's also, getting not only my black and my white girls, but, we're trying to get some of our Muslim girls with sahabis and on there. And sometimes my Indian, I think I had a couple of them in here. So I'm just like trying to get all that. And in the beginning, I write everyone a letter. And this in this book, I just want to say, like it says, this activity book is designed to celebrate the unique and real voice of young women around the globe and inspire them to embrace their greatness and reflect on their dreams while expressing themselves freely through creativity. Our experiences may differ. However, our dreams and challenges unite us worldwide. Let's celebrate the amazing power of girls who create, inspire, and uplift one another. The world needs your voice. Let it shine. So that is going to be book number 1. And then, like I said, you left me alone for a month. So here's book number 2. And then there is a third book. The third one, yes, but the third one is a journal. So when the girls have their meetings, and usually they have their meetings like maybe twice, maybe 3 times a month, there is like 15 of them that has like guided themes. And it has a calendar. It has a space for them to reflect, if they can reflect in words or they can do drawings. And then also give you a couple blank ones because an event might happen that you need to address. Right. You may not be like, okay, we can't go with the program right now because we need to talk about this. And sometimes you just need that space. So I just really wanted to do that in mixed of my math notebooks that's on there. So if you just type my name, Audrey Codner, you can go on Amazon. I have an author's page. If you want to follow that page, you can. And then anything new, which will probably happen maybe next month, then you'll see all my stuff that's on there. So I know there's a certain price because a lot of these things, maybe not the She Creates, but if you ever want it, like say you want a bulk order, just message me directly because then I can give you like a bulk discount because I get that. So yeah, because I know we ain't made our money. No one has $5,000. I'm not rolling like that like I used to.
So, but girl, that's great.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah. So just trying to, and I know there's young gentlemen need support too. And I know there's like usually like men of character groups that's out there. I think some girl groups used to be called like Pearls of Wisdom, I think it was. So, you know, I know there's some resources out there, but it's just a matter of finding it or getting people that want to be dedicated to it. I think that's the best way of saying it.
Right. Yeah. It's awesome though. Audrey, you've been really
trying. On top of all that, it's like, you know, you got your, because I mean, this morning I woke up like around 7 because I had a late night. And I was just like, oh, let me check my phone real quick because that's what we all do. So I went to check my phone and all of a sudden it was like, Black Friday sale, Black Friday sale. It was like, dude, it's not even 8 o'clock yet. Right. And my thing is blowing all kinds of up with Black Friday. So I was like, you know what? Awesome. Let me come over here and start. I got things to sell too. Let me sell my books.
I know that's right.
And then, yeah. So, I mean, with you going back into the classroom and what are you noticing in some of the classes?
I don't even know if I should.
Don't tell everything. Don't tell me where, but I think go ahead, a little bit of something.
Let's just say we were on lockdown.
Okay.
We had to lock the school down. A young man had grabbed a young lady, choked her till she was unconscious.
Oh my word.
But before she was unconscious, she had a seizure because of what he was, choking her like that.
Right.
And then she passed out. And they locked the school down for hours. And then another instance where a boy had took another boy and rammed his head into the wall. And what was bad about it, Audrey, the security guard was there and was on their phone and did not even try to break them up. So we had to get another security officer.
Right.
Then not too long ago, they called a meeting after school. And so I go into the room and sit down in the conference room, and they said, a security officer said, I just feel like we need to do a locker check. He's like, well, if you feel like it, let's go. They did a locker check, found a pew
right
in the locker. And the way the school is set up, the lockers are on the outside. And before you come in the building, you have to come through the detectors.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. You know, and so because of that, you know, it didn't get into school, thank God. But you know, just knowing that was there. And then another school in the district had a threat called in, like a week before what happened at my school. And I'm just like, this is so.
Is this middle or high school?
High school.
Okay.
High school. And I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on in the world. We didn't have all this when I was in school.
Like people fought. Like people used their hands and fought.
Right. You squared up and handled it and then went on about your business.
And then you would turn out to be best friends like 5 months later. But it was like that's what we used to do. But it's almost like our kids are turning into like vipers. Like they're coming out angry.
Yeah.
Just out angry. Just want to come after. Like, you can't come after me. But at the same time, look at our society. Look at what's been around. Listen to our music. Listen, everybody's got beef. I mean, I don't know anything about Drake and Kendrick. And you just be lucky that I know who those two people are when you having a conversation. I never knew that all of a sudden I used to be hip. And now I'm like, damn, what happened? But I don't care what y'all beef was. Really don't. I feel like y'all needed to sit down. And then all beef with all these other rappers and this. And then you got this craziness with Diddy. We don't want to talk about all that funness. But they're seeing all this. Like, our kids are susceptible when mom or dad is angry. Or mom and grandma is angry. Or mom and the person across the street is angry. They're so susceptible to that. And that's all they're surrounded by. So now they're looking for people. And who they look for? Gang members. I got so many transporters that are driving these vehicles. One day I'm in the car. I looked over. I could have sworn I saw a 12-year-old behind the wheel of the car.
Girl.
I was like, wait.
What's really going on?
Like, I know you transporting. Like, I know that's what you are because that's what everyone's doing. Those new cars. All of a sudden, everybody got a new car at the same time, the same month. Come on now. You know what that is. And they're getting younger and younger. And I'm like, I know you do not have your license. No. But they're looking for love and they're finding love in the wrong places. And teachers, guys, we can only do so much. We can only do so much because we got to go home and deal with our own family.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we didn't have all this stuff. And I mean, we went to school. We had classes. I just wasn't looking to get into it with nobody. I really wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't, you know, if I was trying to prove something, I was trying to prove it in the music and all that stuff. But it wasn't like I'm going to square up and talk about this person or do something to this person and do this. I just didn't live like that. It just wasn't that serious.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean, you know.
I don't know.
I'm 48, so I don't know.
Right. And I'm 52, and I'm like,
okay. I'm like,
yeah, I don't get it. But we are still here in order to educate, in order to get these young men and young women just to survive longer than the age of 18. Like, we're all like, when people are graduating, me knowing that they can't read or write, but they're like happy as hell that they're graduating. But then I'm like, what's their life like afterwards? That's that one statistic that we never do for our districts. Mm-hmm. We have statistics about everything except for that. How are they living once they get out? So
that's a good question.
And no, most of them, unless you live in that area of the school, you'll know it when you go shopping. You'll see them at Walmart. You see them at Walgreens. You see them at the supermarket, at the local corner store. And you see them like trying to make change and struggling. And you're like, dude, I had you for a math student for Algebra 2. And you're telling me you can't make a change for a 20 for something that costs $17.97? We got a problem.
Excellent question.
We got a problem.
Excellent question. Yeah.
So, yeah, we can put things together, but hey, we're all like, hey, it's November, and what, in 2 days, it's going to be December 1st.
Right.
I don't know what happened to the year went, and where life is, and things are going to keep moving on. So you just need to figure out how you're going to fit in, or do you want to fit in? And if you don't want to fit in, you got to fit into something. You know, like for me, I always felt like I didn't fit in. I was too black for white people, or I'm too white for black people. So I'm like, I have my own little world. But then slowly but surely, I started finding people are very similar. Like, okay, I was listening to this, and I listen to this music, and I like to do this, but now
I got called Oreo a few times, so
multiple times.
It is what it is, but I really didn't care because listen, this Oreo could sing,
right?
This Oreo could
yes, she can.
This Oreo,
yes, she can.
This Oreo could sing you up under the table, so I'm good. I figured it out, you know. So, but yeah, you know, and you know what? Looking back now, Audrey. Mm-hmm. The majority of the people that gave me problems, if there was any, I don't even remember their names anymore.
Isn't that funny? See, that's what needs to be heard. Especially with our younger ones. They're constantly worrying about stuff that happened like 2 years ago. Yep. Oh, I don't like her because 2 years ago she stepped on my little pony sweat shoes and really? Yeah. And then all of a sudden she took my pencil and she didn't say thank you. I'm like, you guys were in the playground, kindergarten. You're really going to hold on to that grudge? I need for you to let that go. But right. And it's true. Like you don't, like when you get older, you're dealing with your own issues daily. And all of a sudden, like the things that you used to really worry about, you don't worry about anymore.
It becomes so minute.
Like
they really do.
I looked at pictures of me in high school. I thought I was fat. And I look now, I'm like, damn, I was nice. What was I worried about? And I mean, literally, the starvation, I didn't do anything severe, but it was just like the mind games and no one would like me and all this stuff. Yeah. And then as you get older, all of a sudden these people come up, they're like, oh, I thought you were really nice. I really wanted to ask you out. And I'm like, really? In high school? Really? Or like in college? Why didn't you say something? It's like, I didn't think you were ever going to talk to me. And it's just like, but you don't know. And you put this thought in your head and it takes over. And it's the same thing with academics, if I may throw that out there. You think that you can't do math. I used to suck at math. What am I doing now? I'm an online math tutor. What have I been doing? 22 years in the classroom. Like, what the hell?
I talked to the math teacher the other day. I said, girl, I need to refresh. I need a refresher course on fractions and all that stuff. I was like, I don't remember doing none of this when I was in high school.
Oh, I know. They advanced everything else. Everything else.
And I'm like, I can't remember the last time I had to use anything that looked like algebra.
I know. Sometimes I feel like a skeptic.
So I'm like, okay, y'all gypped me because I don't remember all this stuff.
But this is the thing. The reason, and I say this to my students, the reason why I teach all of this to you it's because I don't know where you're going to go for your future.
Right.
I'd rather you said, I've seen this before, than saying to yourself, I have never seen this ever in my life. I don't want you to ever say that. I actually want you to say, I've seen it before, and like, okay, I might need a refresher, and then you can roll with it. So I always say that to my students, and they're like, I never had anyone explain it to me like that before. And I'm like, I know, because I'm going to be real. Like, I don't see you guys doing a system of equations, figuring out how many apples and how many oranges you want to buy. You just say, look, I can only afford 2 oranges and maybe a grapefruit. And then an apple, maybe I might get a bag of them because they're on sale. Mm-hmm. That's about it. So it's all kinds of crazy. So I know a lot of you guys are. Did you go out shopping for Black Friday?
Girl, no. It's too crazy out there. No. I've been ran to a Trump supporter, and they say something slick to me, and then there it is. No, yeah. I'm gonna stay where it's safe.
I don't see anybody doing what they used to do. And I said this early when I first started. Like, I don't see too many people like lining up to get into stores anymore because you can go online. So they're probably like on Amazon and just like scrolling through what can I get for the kids and all that stuff. But they don't do like the camping out like they used to. Like, remember they used to like stay up overnight, like Thanksgiving. All right, Thanksgiving's done. It's 8:00. Okay, let's take a quick nap.
So they can go.
Run to the store. Who's got the hot chocolate?
Girl, they got the doorbuster deal, girl.
Right, piling up, trying to get the sales of stuff that they already hyped up. And I think because we know
you go over here and get this, and then you stand over here and get this line, and girl,
right. But at the same time, those were the days of we had Gimbals and Bamberger. Well, first it was Bamberger, then Gimbals, then back to Bamberger, and then now it's Macy's. And then we had Clover, and we had Starbridge and Clover and Sears. And when we had the Sears magazine, let's talk about that. I missed that. That was Sears like, oh, and you saw the toy section. That's all you did. You just
or a pen and get that big old giant catalog and start folding sheets and papers. I want this. I want this. I want this.
Like you doing statistics. I'm over here calculating. I'm putting prices next to the stuff because I knew Santa was around, but you know, Santa gotta have a budget. Girl, you just can't be going crazy.
And basically had the whole book highlighted. Oh, they can afford it. They can afford it. My parents can afford it.
Asking for skis, and I'm living in Philadelphia. Where's ski? Where?
Look at me like, girl, I know you ill. I know you didn't call something. You must be sick. You think I'm gonna spend all this money on this?
Right. Right. Trying to get your oh my God, the Swatch watches and all that stuff. Oh my word.
Yes.
The things I put my poor parents through.
Mm-hmm. They was out there, I mean, breaking themselves down.
Right. Standing in line. Oh, and backing up when I was younger, it was the Cabbage Patch doll.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Mom, Dad, well, Dad's probably listening heavenly, but Mom, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because I know you had to wait in line for the longest time just to get that redhead doll.
So while your mama was waiting in line, my mother had a friend that was a seamstress.
Okay.
Can I tell you that she sold me a Cabbage Patch doll?
Oh. You need to take a picture of that if you still have it.
You know what's sad? I don't even have it anymore.
Oh.
Knowing now, I wish but she sold a black Cabbage Patch doll. It looked just like the Cabbage Patch, except it was soft because it wasn't plastic.
Right.
But she sold it so it had toes and fingers and all that, eyes, the mouth, nose. She was a bad woman.
Right.
I'm like, and girl, and I went to sleep that night, woke up with the Cabbage Patch doll looking me in the face that next morning. with pajamas on, pink and white pajamas. And that's when I woke up with that in my face the next morning.
That's sweet.
See,
that's what I'm saying.
I wish I had kept it. I was thinking about. I was like, man, if I had kept that doll. But yeah. But see, I don't even know how much she paid that woman to make it. But yeah, she stitched one.
Well, it's probably a heck of a lot cheaper than actually going out and buying one.
The cabbage dress.
Right?
But yeah, that's what she did. She sure did.
But see, kids don't want really toys anymore. They want lip gloss. They want Sephora.
Right, they want adult. They want to be an adult.
Like, why? Don't rush it, guys. And then when we're adults, we're all sitting there like, ooh, let's do something that reminds us of our childhood. And we spend like thousands of dollars to get like an adult size. Oh, we could do like a sleepaway camp for singles. And then you can like have adult games and all that stuff. And I'm like, look at us. So don't rush
it's a whole mess. A whole mess.
Hey, Nitro.
It's a lot of time over a lot of nothing.
Right. But see, we can't tell them anything. They're going to have to figure it out.
The same way we did. Couldn't tell. There wasn't much they could tell us back then either because we thought we knew it too. But okay, Mom, whatever. And couldn't find out she was right.
Yep.
God, she was right. Man.
I know. So like when we get all those things and as we grow, and it always seems like around this time of year, that's when all those memories start coming up and the flashbacks
the reflections start coming back.
Yeah. And then you're like, man, I remember this and I remember that. Like, I think the best thing was I learned how to drive. So now I can go from point A to point B. And like, I went from point A, point B, C, D, came back to A, and then went back to E, F, G. My parents were like, are you ever going to come home? I'm like, you guys are the ones that said you need to get your driver's license. I didn't get my driver's license until I was, 22? No.
Okay, you got it a year later than me. I got mine at 21.
I was like, what was the point? You drive me everywhere. And where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. Like if I don't need to go anywhere, I don't go.
I drove my mama crazy because my dad started teaching me how to drive, but he didn't finish. Okay. And so he taught me enough and started taking me out and driving. So every time my mother went somewhere, I would beat her to the car and get behind the wheel. And she had to put up with me driving everywhere. And she was talking about how crazy we was talking about that yesterday. How crazy I made her because she was like, I could have run your dad's neck. Got you all excited about that and then left you out here for me to do the rest. And so, but yeah, it was just hilarious. She was talking about, girl, you was wearing my poo pipe. All this driving back and forth. Poor jeans almost got stepped on, little girl. But yeah. But it was pretty funny though.
Right? The first time getting behind the wheel of a car with my mom, she was like, doing that invisible brake. But she was stepping hard. And I'm like literally at a stoplight. What's wrong? It was just a little too fast. I'm like, you gotta trust. You gotta trust. Do you think I want to die too? No, I don't want to die. This is not it.
Like, Mama, why are you twitching and doing all that? What's wrong?
Do we need to take it somewhere? Oh my goodness. But I'm telling you, I have like a couple, your daughter's going emo. Okay. And heading golf. All right. And I'm okay with it. Hey, look, that's perfectly fine. Like they're all everyone finds their way. As much as, and I'm not a parent, so sometimes I feel like I can't speak on this, but as much as we have to trust that everything that we did our best with our kids. And eventually they're going to find their way. And I know sometimes their way, you can like probably see ahead of like, oh, that's going to be tragic. That's going to be hurtful. But it's almost like sometimes we have to go through pain in order to understand pleasure. So it just sometimes it's like, I don't want to say completely let go and just be blind. But no, it's more so as you're teaching your kids, it's like trusting. But if it's like self-destructing, like they're being abusive, they have some kind of addictions, like you could speak on it. Say that I love you. I don't know what's going on, what's happening, what's triggering this. If we can't get it together, let's see if we can talk to someone else. I notice a lot of people are doing a lot of those. What should I do? Because now I'm in a lot of mom groups because of my tutoring. And it just seems like I'm starting to see a lot of parents, especially the new version of homeschool parents, the ones that are taking their kids out like the last couple of years. And sometimes they're taking them out, but they're just like, okay, what's the curriculum? All right, let my kid teach themselves. And you're like, no. Like, you still have to be an educator. She's like, well, I don't know this stuff. I'm like, don't find someone who can do it.
Right.
So when it comes to those things, it just seems like, how should I put this without, I don't want to be rude, but it's just like, sometimes we have to trust to a point, but only you can figure out what that point is because that's your child.
Right.
Now, if you didn't teach X, Y, and Z, that's the problem. You need to teach your kid where the boundaries are. Stop trying to be your kid's friend 24/7.
See, that's one thing, our parents had that down to a science. That I can't be your friend. This is not about friendship.
Right.
I'll catch you up on that friend stuff when you get in your 40s. When you out on your own, paying your own bills.
Right. But that's the problem. That's
your own things until then.
And that's the problem. A lot of them felt like that was controlling. So they were just like, well, and when I have kids, I'm going to be my kid's best friend. I'm going to be that person that I wish I had. But then all of a sudden, when you notice that they were lacking that boundary, and now when they get older, now you want to put boundaries on them. It's just like being a teacher in the classroom. Like, you can't be like, oh, yeah, I'm your best friend. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to do your homework today? Not a problem. We won't grade that. And all of a sudden, when it gets close to around this time of year, you start seeing those teachers unravel. Their classrooms are out of control. They don't know. And then all of a sudden want to try to get control. No, because we know who you are. Who is this? Right. And the kids will call you out on it because that's the best thing that we know about kids. They do not hold their tongue.
No.
Not one bit. They will curse you out in a heartbeat. They want to. Yep. I wish a kid would try to curse me out. I'll be like,
listen,
you all right?
And I keep telling, I'm like, let me see. I told my mom, I said, here, y'all need you to start holding some money for me. I need some bail money.
I got 3 good minutes. And sometimes I'll be like, the police will take some 20 minutes for them to get up here.
I don't know if you're going to need it or not, just hold it. But the thing about it is, because, kids, what I realized too, Audrey, and you probably have too, all kids want to see where the boundaries are. Ooh, yeah. But once they figure out that the reality of the fact of they're doing all this to figure out, does this person really care about me?
Right.
Or are they just giving me lip service?
Right.
That's what me being back in the saddle, that's the conclusion I've come to. Kids are trying to figure out, does this person really care about me? Or are they giving me lip service? And I got to look for, I got to find this somewhere else.
Right. They just want someone that's real. Mm-hmm. They crave it. They crave that. I want someone that's going to give me the real talk. And I think there's maybe a couple former students of mine that they have kids and all that. They know that if they want a real answer, because now we're friends on Facebook, we're friends on Instagram, and they're just like, Miss Connor, I need, and I'll be like, you can call me Miss Audrey. I don't know why they don't call us by our first name, because our last names constantly change, like for me. But we'll talk about that another time. But at least they know.
Yeah, because we're in the same boat now. Mm-hmm. We're in the same boat now, me and you. And the thing about it is, Audrey, I have students. Now, I just went back to this school. Now, I was never at this school before. I started this school year. Mm-hmm. I got kids that come to my classroom for hugs. Mm.
That's what
I got kids that come to my classroom, Miss, and they come in there and they come in there and they sit. And I'm like, you can't stay in here. You got classes. Oh, she ain't there yet. She ain't there yet. She ain't there yet. I'm like, they come in here and and I'm just like, these are kids that just need a little, some of them just need a little love. Mm-hmm. And then it make me, and then when I'm hugging them, and I'm old school, Audrey. I'm the PK kid. Okay. So when I'm hugging them, I'm sitting up here praying over them.
Right.
I'm like, Lord, I done turned into my grandmother.
Right.
I'm hugging them and praying over their little spirit and their little body. I'm like, Lord, just take care of them, because I know, outside these walls, I don't know what they're going to encounter. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I missed.
I don't know when they go home. Are they going home to a good household? Is there somebody there to greet them?
Speak on.
Is there somebody there to give them a good meal? Is there somebody there to check their homework? Is there somebody there to brush their hair and tell them that they're loved, that they care for? Now we got teachers that are doing all of that now.
And we're exhausted.
Audrey, let me ask you this, because I was talking about this with my family yesterday. Audrey, since I went back to school, when I come home, I walk my dog and I get into bed sometimes.
Yes.
And the next thing I know, it's 11 o'clock. Yeah. I done went to sleep. I'm like, and then it came to my conclusion. It was like, how many different spirits and people that I encounter every day that are draining me, and I don't even realize it. And that's why when I get home, I'm just like, oh.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why it's hard.
Yes.
So like those married couples that, one is not a teacher and the other one is, and then one comes home, that's a teacher, exhausted. The other one comes home, okay, honey, asking 60 million, 2 questions. What are we going to have for dinner? What are we going to do this? How are you feeling? How was your day? And you're like, I've been talking all day. I can't. I love you, but I can't. So those that are married, dating, teachers, just have the power and the patience of Job, because I'm trying to tell you now. It's a different world. And that's why, like, some people, they have hard, unless they're a teacher is married to a teacher, they both understand and they just get that eye contact, like, yeah. And that was pure communication. Like, you just had like a whole novel that it was just a look. Yep. Everyone outsiders, it was just a look. But they knew that, okay, we're having this for dinner. We're going to order from here. We're going to do this. We're going to do, and then that's it. And it's hard. But when it's an outsider that's thinking like, how come we don't spend time anymore? It's not just a woman thing, because there's male and female teachers. So if you're dating a teacher or an educator, and they have, and especially principals, because they got to go from this meeting to that meeting and think of this and think of that and how you're going to present this. So when they have a moment, like I said earlier, when these retired teachers get together, they just unleash. That's why I said, Mom, don't get arrested, because I'm not bailing you out.
I'm trying to tell you. And look, Audrey, now, like I said, just starting at this place, there is a class, and it's a man teacher. Okay. They put 2 of his kids in my class. 2 boys. 4th grade. That he can't do nothing with.
Because you have that, we're very much the same. You have that niche that cannot be taught. So that's here. That's the secret.
And I'm like, what? And I'm thinking to myself, I got my own kids. I got my own kids. What you thinking? I'm like, he a whole, and you know our old school came into play. He a man. What you mean you can't do nothing with them boys? You a whole grown man.
It's different.
Audrey,
you're asking them to be compassionate and to be enriching. I'm not saying that men can't be compassionate,
right?
But that particular teacher, just I know the content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to reach the kid.
Mm-hmm.
To a point.
Uh-huh. And the thing about it, and Audrey, I'm like, and when I tell you this is the same boy, Audrey, now at the beginning of the year, the way our school is set up, our doors are locked. To the classroom, our doors are locked.
Mm-hmm.
The only person got a key is another teacher or you.
Mm-hmm.
And he would I was getting knocks on my door, and then I would send a kid to open it, and there was nobody there. Kept happening for like about almost 2 weeks. And I finally came to my senses and like, there are 3 cameras in this hallway. These cameras is seeing who's knocking on my door.
Right.
And I went to the front and I said, I keep getting somebody knocking on my door. I need y'all to check these cameras and let me know what's going on. I said, because I don't know, because by the time I get there, they're gone. Mm-hmm. And so it finally, I just happened to be standing up by the cabinet and I heard, and I was right by the door and I opened it. And the blue boy, oh no, before that, I heard the knock on the door and then I heard the voice, bring your fat out the door. Oh. And I was like, and I opened the door really quick. They thought they was going to get away. And I opened the door really quick and I caught them. This is the same boy that is now in my class that just got...
They went in.
The exact same kid. And I'm like, you know what? And I told him now, I said, your problem is that you're too smart. Mm. That's your problem. Mm-hmm. You're not being challenged. And that's where it is. And he's brilliant because the other kids in my class will be asking me questions and he's answering. Yep. I said, what we need, and I talked to his therapist and I said, he needs to be checked for how his intelligence. He needs to be checked. I said, I think the problem is he's in 5th grade, but he may be 7th grade level. Mm. I said, we need to figure out how to get him to a test. Because he's probably supposed to be a lot further than where he is. I said, because he's answering everybody else's questions. So it's not that he doesn't know. They asked him the other day, well, we're talking about, so this, the World War II started in, he was like, 1942. Oh. I'm like, what? Now, and I went and grabbed my phone and he was right. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what this is. You are not being challenged enough. And so you show out and act out because your brain is like, I'm beyond this. Mm-hmm.
And plus, depending on the atmosphere, mm-hmm. No one wants to be known as smart. It's not cool to be smart.
Yes.
It's not cool to be smart. It's cool to, okay, let me just kind of just do what I got to do. And mm-hmm. It takes so much for that kid to say, you know what, let me break from the norm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And I'm like, this is what I'm dealing with. But the thing about it is the other boy that they put in my class, they feed off each other. They both are the antagonists for each other. Mm-hmm. The one will be doing his work and the other one will start acting up to distract that one, and then they'll feed off of each other. Yeah. And so I put one all the way across the room in one corner and the other one in another space. And that still, it worked for a while. Then they started, I said, okay, so I went to the principal. I was like, look, you're going to have to move one of them. One of them needs to be moved to another class because I think if they get enough time apart, maybe they can break the cycle. But if they're in the same room together, they're just going to feed off of each other and make it hard for everybody else to stay on track in the class. And so they move one to another class, Audrey. But the thing about it is, the one that they moved out of my class, now he's thriving in the class that he's in. And this one is still trying to, push back and, but the other one is moving on. And I'm like, see, it's starting. So we just got to work it. We just got to work it. But that's what I'm dealing with, girl.
Did you ever have like a I like to say, a come to Jesus moment with the both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And just like
and their mama.
And their mom, okay.
And their mama. And I see where the issue is. It's not the boy's fault.
The apple didn't fall too far from the tree.
Girl, when I tell you it landed midair because it was that close attached.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. And I sat there while she cussed her son out. And I'm sitting there going, and I'm trying to go, should I say something or am I crossing the line? You know, because I don't want the mom to go, well, you mind your business. I'm up here. You know, it's a fine line to walk. You know how it is as a teacher. It's a fine line.
Yeah, I crossed that line so many times. I was one because I'm 6'1", so I'm like, let's go. I know you like you little 5'5". Let me see. I don't want to hear none of that. Once you leave out this building, you can say whatever you gotta say.
But you know what? Because because I'm like he said that. I was like, I recalled what he said, and I told her, I said, oh, yes, by the way. And she was like, oh, that's what you doing, let's go. And I was like, and I just stepped back.
Right.
You know, because sometimes I'd be like, they don't even have a clue. And she was like, he been telling me he been getting all his work done. And I said, oh, no, ma'am.
But you still.
And I started showing her.
Have to, exactly. You still, because nowadays, you can look at a person's grade book. Mm-hmm. But here's my thing. Sometimes some teachers, and I will admit, some teachers do not keep up with their grades until like very late and then start piling all the stuff in there. And then they thought, oh, you got an A. And all of a sudden you got an E. And they're like, or an F. And they're like, wait, it was just an A last week. And they're like, well, I had to put all the stuff in. So if you are going to have those electronic grade books and you want parents to be responsible for looking at those grade books, you have to make sure it's up to date, because that's what we can use as leverage and say, look, I noticed that your grades are doing this, this, and this. So right now, I don't know if that's the case, which probably isn't, because if it's your kid, but it just seems like some parents are just like, I'll just show up for the good stuff. I'm going to show up to pay for prom. I'm going to show up to pay for graduation. I'm going to show up for any kind of like little events. But when it comes to the hard stuff, I can't say all parents because that's not it. But the ones that we really need to see during the parent-teacher conferences, those are the parents I'm talking about. Like, I want to see like little Mary. Mary's got an A+. Like, Mary could teach this damn class. Right. I want to see your mom. I want to see like Sean's mama. Yeah. Because this boy needs some issues. What we got to do? That's who I want to see.
You know, and but that's what I'm dealing with, and girl, and it's like I said, and I told my mother, and she described it. She said, I told her, I said, Mom, I live life like a tarantula. And she was like, what? I said, I live like a tarantula. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, when I get out of my car and I put the key in the door to my school, I'm up on my back legs with my front legs up on high alert. You know, and I go into that school on high alert, and I stay that way all day for over 8 hours. And then when I get out of my classroom and go to the door and I sit in my car, then I put my front legs down. And I drive home, and I'm like, and just imagine being like that all day long. And when I get home, of course, my brain is like, it's time for me to check out. I've done all I can do.
Ever fall asleep in the car in your own driveway?
Girl, Audrey, I sat there, and there was a song on, and I was listening to the song, and before I knew it,
done, out. Because you still got to be on high alert because you're driving. You're trying to be protective of everyone else. You're trying to protect of yourself. And then when you finally get there, then you just got that. And then you're done. And all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, let me get in the house real quick.
And my dog be and my, I got a little chocolate miniature schnauzer. Girl opened the door one day and I was late. And when I tell you she tried to cuss me out, my dog was trying to cuss me out, Audrey. She tried to cuss me out. She was like, I don't know where you been. But But you supposed to been here over an hour and a half ago. I don't know what you're doing. But I'm on a schedule, and you need to be on my schedule. What you doing? I'm telling you, girl, she be looking at me like, and see, she's 15.
Oh,
which makes her like 77 in dog years. And so she's like, I really don't have to listen to you. I'm much older than you.
Right.
Huh? I don't know what you think this is. That's how she, I'm serious. That's how she acts.
I believe you.
But girl, she sure do. And like, you know, if anybody come over, she give them 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. She give them 5 minutes. And if they don't speak to her, she be like, okay, you know what? I'm here too. This is my house. I don't know why you visiting. How come you ain't spoke to me? You see me down here. You hear me jingling.
Right.
You ain't saying nothing. You heard these clanking down here. You are you rude? How did your mama raise you? You know. And she do that, and she put her paws up like, "Excuse me, ma'am, you need to speak."
Right. Oh,
you know. I'm telling you. So
those are the things that we're going through, but
I'm telling you, that's what teachers do.
And I know we go from like one thing of like shopping and all that stuff, and we go back to schools because our kids are just. We're sitting here.
You need to make sure you give me your information for them books.
Of
for
course.
Your coloring books.
Yeah, silent books.
What I'm going to do, and I'm gonna talk to my group. Okay. That I'm on my TikTok group.
Okay.
And I'm gonna talk to some other teachers in my school, and I'm gonna see if we can kind of push your stuff out.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if we can try to push your stuff out for kids, because you know what? There's not many avenues for us in the world.
True.
When I see us doing for us, I try to get behind us and push.
True.
So I think that's something we need to look into. I got a little girl at my school that I know would love them books. And so I'm going to see if I can get it for her and try to get it before Christmas.
Okay.
And so she can have that. Because she came to school the other day, Audrey, and her hair was all over her head.
Mm.
And I said, what's going on? And she was like, girl, my little sister, she be breaking up my mama's things, and so my mama locked her hair things in the other room, and so I couldn't get to them before I leave. So now I'm like, okay, I need to get this baby a brush and a comb, and whether she got put it in her locker here at school or however she need to do it, I need to get for her. You know, I'm seeing kids that I need to get for them. Right. You know, and I think that would be a perfect little, you know, little coloring book and a brush and comb and stuff for her. Yeah. Your stuff would be good for her.
Yes.
These little girls love to see. We need to see more of us.
I know.
In the world, we do.
Not just the brats with the darker version or the Barbies with the darker version. Like, they need to see our features. They need to see
us.
Just everything. It's just the real natural before surgery. Us.
Right. Before all the tweaks and, you know, BBL and all this other stuff, and tell, oh, well, you're not good enough. You need this. Oh, girl, well, this isn't right. This isn't. Girl, you need to. And I think about that, Audrey. I spend so much time in my head because of what the norms were portrayed as. Mm-hmm. Not realizing that I'm not living my life because I'm so busy worried about.
Yep.
So
how I look, how I approach, because now I'm making a transition. Like, sometimes I look at how my life was before I got married, how my life was when I got married, how my life was now as a divorcee or single or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now I don't want to go back to Audrey 1.0. Right. I want Audrey 3.0. And what does that mean? So now it's like, okay, what do I want to bring into my space?
Right.
Who do I want to share my space with? Mm-hmm. And like, okay, what is my space? Like, how else can I help? Because I'm starting to understand almost like my purpose. So it's like my purpose in life is basically to serve. And there's a book back here that's like Built to Serve. I know it's kind of hard to see it. Evan Carmichael. And it's like, I was built and created to serve. I was built to learn things. I've had so many experiences, and then soon enough, it's going to be time for you to share those experiences back.
And somebody else.
So you can help them.
Yes, that's right. Help them get to their destination.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
So it's like, I know, like right now, this live is like an hour and 20 minutes, but you know what? I don't want to stop. Like, I don't want to do like a 10-minute live because I knew I was going to be on here for a minute. And I think a lot of the stuff that we're talking about needs to be said.
Be discussed.
Because this time of year, I've lost, oh my goodness, like this past year, the last 2 years have been rough. Like, I've lost students, former students, all over the place, death, suicide, unliving, sorry, and keep, sometimes the terminology escapes me.
Nelson.
Just like all different types of, they're gone. They're not here. And because they didn't feel love. And I don't want that to ever happen.
I don't want anybody to slip through my fingers.
I'm done. And I was like, that really is like, okay, now I'm starting. It took yesterday to kind of build up. Now I'm starting to see, Nelson, I'm so glad that you're good. So starting to see that we need to have these tough conversations.
Yes.
Or we need to reach out to people. And that's why when I come to TikTok, and I know people feel some type of way with TikTok. Some people feel some type of way with Facebook too, because trust me, there's some issues. But I feel like there's so many people that really don't know me, but support me here on TikTok. Or the ones that you can see their pain, and people are genuine when they say, you know what, how you doing? I heard about your breakup, or you shared about your breakup. How you doing? Oh, you're homeless now? Like, I wish I can give you money. Or, hey, I got like $5. Can you do something with that? Or, hey, can you, divide and conquer with this? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to support. And I feel like there's so much support and so much love and understanding. Maybe I'm just lucky and blessed that I see a lot of those people. And then there are some of my friends and other tutors that I've been discovering just by going to summits and all this stuff and just meeting up with people. And then we just sit down and have a talk. And they're shocked. They're like, wait, you're talking with me? And I'm like, yeah. I talked with one tutor for like an hour and a half. And she was like, I just wanted only 30 minutes of your time. I'm like, girl, you're going to get as much time as you need to feel comfortable about whatever you need to do.
And that's the thing. And you know what? Also, let me tell you something. And I didn't realize this. I just realized this, like, it's been about 2 months. 2 months to 2.5. I have a friend on here. His name is Gritty. That's his last name. He does a live Monday through Friday, where he kind of talks about issues that you're dealing with on the inside. So he's studying to be a psychologist. He's studying to be a psychologist, but he does a live on here, and he talks through different issues and how to deal with your own personal stuff. Okay. And so I'm sitting there now, the way my classroom is set up, my kids face away from me. Their backs are to me.
To you.
Okay. And the reason why they set the classroom up like that is because they're on tablets and they want you to be able to see if they're on doing their work or if they're over on YouTube showing out.
Gotcha.
And so I have on my desk, I have a little earpiece in and I'm listening to his live. Okay. And he's talking about personal triumphs and personal tragedies that happened to even him when he was growing up. Audrey, I started listening to his live one day, and before I knew it, I was bawling. I was bawling because there are things, and you're a witness. You can be a witness to this. Mm-hmm. There are things that in the Black community we don't address. Mm-hmm. And we stuff it down instead of dealing with it. We're told that, sometimes we may be told that you don't tell the world what's going on. Yep. You keep that in house. You don't discuss that. You don't tell the world what's going on. And all this stuff started just listening. Now, mind you, I'm not in a therapy session. I'm not face to face with him. Right. But listening to this man's live, it was hitting a chord with me. It resonated with you. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God I had tissue on my desk and the garbage can next to me, because I'm just patting my face. And I'm like, you know what? There's a lot more people that probably could use this opening, this new perspective of how to deal with this stuff. And some of it, Audrey, was stuff I forgot about. Mm. Yep. Okay. Some of this, it was stuff that I had, the little songbird had put it to the side and forgot about. I even came up with a SA situation that happened to me when I was about 8 years old, in school by an older kid in school. And all that came up. And I'm just like, just like dealing with this stuff now. And I'm like, okay, this is something I need to address. I talked to my mother. I even told my dad about it. But the thing about it is, Audrey, how are we going to help people when we can't even talk about the little stuff, Audrey? That's why we need to help. Yep. Because we're not only helping them, we're helping ourselves. Exactly. So we have to, just because you feel that you're not an expert, it's almost like the old saying that in the village of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Yes. You have a perspective. You have your experience. And I don't know what it is, but you sharing what your fact is, that's when I was sexually assaulted by my piano teacher when I was in 8th grade, when I was 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And how that was buried for years. Yes. And I wanted to learn how to break open my fears and get throughout the insecurities so I could improve on my business. Mm-hmm. So there was like hey Daphne, there was like a moment where there was some kind of summit. It was like a 3-day summit or webinar. And it was really cool. Very small. There was like maybe 6 people involved in it. And the second to the last day, she did an exercise and she's like, I want you guys to just meditate and let me take you to a place where you can get to your inner child and some type of thing. I'm like, all right, inner child, let's do it. Right. Nice, relaxing music. I'm sitting there. And then all of a sudden, she just said, okay, repeat the word release. And I was like, okay, release. And then I finally kind of calmed and I said release the 3rd time, cried. Yep. Everything started coming up. Things that, like you said, totally forgot. I can feel his hands on me. I can feel how I felt afterwards when my mom asked me, how was your lesson? And the difference between you and I was I still haven't told my parents. Oh, wow. Because at 8 years old, when he says, I'm going to tell your parents that you're a bad girl. And that means a lot. To a child. Yes, it does. To a child. And you would think and this happened like a few months ago. And I actually put it
out there on I was feeling some type of way, and I just wanted to release this, because now when you go through these webinars and they bring all this stuff out, and they're like, okay, well now, if you want, to continue on, you can join me for my blah, blah, blah for this many thousands of dollars. And I'm like, okay, you brought all this stuff out. Now I am stuck with it to figure it out.
Right.
Or you're using, sometimes I felt like she wasn't doing it, but you were using my, my body says it's time. Yes. I just felt like I have to take care of this. Everything's up. You're like using my emotions for ransom now.
Right.
And that's why, like, anyone that does any kind of summits, you have to understand, you don't know what that person is bringing in or what they're pushing down for decades.
Yeah.
And when you say these simple things like, we're just want to try to get to the surface. And all of a sudden, it's not the surface. It's the deep, dark Pandora box that people have been pushing down. And now all of a sudden you're coming with these webinars and you're like, hey, think deep, you got to clear everything out. You don't know what everything is.
Nope, not a clue.
And then all of a sudden, I'm stuck with this feeling of being lost.
Yeah.
I'm going to be truthful right here. You guys could have lost me about 2.5 months ago, almost 3 months ago. You almost lost me. I was almost not here because of it. And I just didn't know how to handle it. And when I was about to, with a nice little knife, all of a sudden, and I don't know if anyone believes in God, don't believe in God, you can do whatever you need. But all of a sudden, words came out of my mouth and a tone that was not mine that says, you don't want to do this. I'm not sitting here trying to scare people. But all of a sudden, I was like, I know I don't want to. And I was like, wait, hold on. Who the hell said that?
Yeah.
There's nobody in this house, just me and these 2 cats. Unless these cats start talking, we got some problems going on here, deeper than what I think. But because of that, it jumpstart me. And I was like, well, what do I want to do? Like, all this is in here.
Yeah. And
then I came up here into my room and I was just like, okay, I'm sobbing, I'm crying. I feel like life is sucked out of me. And then I have behind this camera, I have my vision board. Right. Which I was like, okay, I need to redo that because that was the cool vision of a while ago. But I have pictures. And there was a picture of my first version of notebooks that I made. And it didn't really go anywhere. I didn't sell one book because I didn't promote one book. Probably no one knew I had them because there was so many issues with Amazon. And I see this picture and I'm smiling. And I felt so good because that was the first time that I'm like, ooh, I'm publishing. Like I'm creating something. I'm about to sell it. And it's a smile on my face. You could see the excitement in my eyes and everything. And I was like, what happened to her?
Yeah.
Where did she go? I need for her to come back. What do I need to do to bring her back?
Right.
And then boom, it was like, go back to the notebooks. Went back to the notebooks, revamped it, and that's where this math notebook came from.
Wow.
So far sold, 34?
Wow.
And it's a simple graph paper on one side, but then notes on the other side. And it gives you a mood tracker. Because I was like feeling myself and I wanted to do this mood tracker for like a journal for athletes because a lot of the kids that have left me were former student athletes. So I'm like, no one has a statistic on student athletes that do those things, that unalive themselves. You're just a person that unalive themselves. Because a lot of our student athletes, once they leave or once they're in their senior year, especially seniors, We need to talk to those seniors to figure out what they want to do once they graduate from college. No one's not having that conversation because now they're going to feel lost and they feel like a loser because they're working at a local Shoney's or they're working at Dairy Queen or they're working at Walmart just to make money. And they're like, is that my life? So I said, you know what? This would be great for teachers or homeschool parents that they can keep track of how the kids are feeling during the lesson. How are you feeling before the lesson? How are you feeling during the lesson? How are you feeling after the lesson? And then is this day one of the concept and everything like that? And then I expanded. Our kids don't know how to do multiplication. Sorry, they don't. You could give them a multiplication chart. They have no idea what to do with it ever since they got calculators. They don't. But they need to know their factors. So now I got factor sheets in the very back as reviews.
Wow.
Now I got resource pages. They don't know how to do word problems because they don't know what phrases, what words go with what operation. So we got that here. Notice, all of this is in color. Color pages are expensive as hell, but it's needed because now you can see it. Now you can see it all. You can look at the equations online. You can look at exponents and the rules. And then this is for my older kids. Trust me, anyone that's taken Algebra 2 have seen this, a unit circle. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, all that.
I swear to God. I swear, yeah, I'm going to have to come to your class.
Okay. Yeah, and then
so serious, Audrey.
I'm telling you, and courses. I've developed courses. I sat here and that's what I was doing. I was really trying to bring, I think God was saying that I'm not done with you. You need to do this.
And you know what, Audrey? The way things are going, you're about to be in demand. And
that's what everyone says. And it's just a matter
of he really is. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna go into details. But you've read Project 2025. You see what he's about to do.
Yeah.
The only way that our people, not just us melanated folks,
right,
and other people too, okay, but I'm just speaking for us right now. The only way we're going to be able to keep our children on the path to succeed, no matter what, is people like you, people like me, people who have skills that they can teach other people outside of the school system are going to have to come together, and we're going to have to build.
Right.
We're going to have to be able to have a way to teach our kids, because they're going to take the funding, they're going to rip the funding out of it. And if the funding's gone, then nobody's going to be able to. The only way you're going to be able to do is somebody's going to have to come alongside and teach your kids how to get from A to B to C to D and on down the road. That's what we're going to have to do. This is what's going to happen. When I tell you there's going to be a unification of people of color in this country, because it's going to be to where we don't have a choice. Right. We have no choice. You're going to have to go, you know what? Dang it. He's trying to take us out. The only way we're going to survive this is if we get it together, and we survive it together.
That's the key right there. The key word is together.
Together. So if you've got something, you need something, and I've got it, I have to share it with you. If you've got something and I need it, you're going to have to share it with me. That's how we're going to get through this. We're literally going to have to go back to kind of doing things how they had when they had Jim Crow, and people weren't making it, and your neighbors helped you make it. Mm. That's what we're about to go back to.
Yeah. Because we started that during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That was the one thing, like all those learning labs. And actually, I'm going to be interviewing this lady, which reminds me, that's one thing I have to do today. Her name is Gretchen Wegner, and she has what's called like a non-boring learning lab, where, helping other educators like to build up their learning labs. Like you're learning different skills to apply. Now, during the pandemic, that's what people were doing. It was just like, here's one neighbor that's a science person. He's biology. He can teach biology. There's another person on my street that teaches English. There was another person that was a professor of English at American University that's on the other side of one of my neighbors. So it's like we all kind of came together, and I even did like a math hunt for the kids to get outside. Like, I understand we're in a pandemic, we're doing lockdown, but once in a while, kids get antsy. So what I did was like almost like the old scavenger hunts that we used to have in a while. Yes. I did like on 10 different lampposts. And I had something from K through third grade. And then I think it was like third through fifth. And then 6th through 8th, like middle school, and then I had somewhat high school. And there was different layers of math problems. And I said, all right, whoever did it will receive a prize. And sometimes I made cookies. Or my ex at the time, he made a pizza for one family. And, you know, and that's what we did. And a lot of the kids were looking forward to it until the windstorms. But it was something that everyone's like, that's such a good idea. And even the trash men were like, what is that? And caught me putting up. He's like, can you do that on my street? I'm like, sure, I'll just copy and paste it and I'll give it to you next time you roll through. And I did that and he pasted on his street and all that stuff. He's like, yeah, this was really good. Just to get them active and moving. And it's just like the only thing that pulls a little bit back is, how can we make the work that we do be accredited? That's the only thing that holds me back. Because I would love, and one day I might do a TED Talk. I don't know. It might happen. You will.
That's what you want to do?
I think so. I don't know what exactly I want to do it on, but I think like I'm going to try to use a lot more of these lives to kind of use it as a practice.
Can I just do this? Now you asked me, did I believe? I believe in God. So what I'm going to tell you right now is I'm believing with you. If that's what you want to do, that's what you're going to do.
Thank you.
You're going to get up there in front of all those people and they're going to be like, my goodness, this is a wonder. Where has this woman been? I'm believing with you.
Thank you. And that's what I want. And, you know, I just feel like there's an easier way with education. I feel if we get all the certified teachers on a database with their bio, what they teach, just like how the kids select their courses, they can do the same thing with these teachers. They can change twice a semester. So they really have to figure out. Then they can do online courses, because there are some kids that are just not morning people. You know, I'm always like, for me, I don't mind getting up in the morning, but there are some kids that if they had school starting at 11 o'clock, you know, like when we had those snow days and we start school like around 10, 11 o'clock, they're like the best one. Yes, they're like the best kids. And you're like, whoa, where you been? They're like, because I was able to get an extra couple hours of sleep. You know, because my mom was sick or my little brother was sick or I had to take to this. And I used to have kids that used to, you know, when they do construction at night. Yes. I had a couple kids that did construction at night, like help pave the roads. What? I'm like, dude, how did you get that job? He's like, I look older.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like.
And they always think we a lot. They always think, especially our young boys and girls, they think they grown.
So he was Hispanic, and this was like many years ago, and I was working in a high school, and he would come to school because we start school at like 7, and he would come in at time, and I have him first period, and he's always like ready to knock out, and I'm like, dude, like what's going on? And he was like, I don't know if I can tell you this. I'm like, are you running? What's going on? he's like, no, not like that. And then he said, I do construction. I'm like, okay. He's like, no, like at night, I do like construction, doing the pavement and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, how did you get that? Dude, you're like 16. And he was like, I'm like, why are we whispering? We're in my classroom. Like it's bugged or something. And he was like, no. He was like, because I look older and, they didn't ask for anything. So they needed people. So my uncle was able to get me the job and all this other stuff. And we need the money. And he's like, I really want to do something with landscaping and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, so this is our deal. Because this is what most teachers do. I just need for you to do this work and this work. If you can get that done, you see that couch back there? Take a nap. Like lay out.
Yeah.
Or like you see, if you want to chill right here because you're right next to the side. If you want to lay out, lay out. You do what you got to do. And he had an A in my class. And I'm not saying that I'm an easy A type person, but because I was able to work with him, or he'll be like, it was a late night. And I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, I just got in from work. And I'm like, okay, did you get, and sometimes I'm the one with the snacks too. Did you get something to eat? Yeah, I didn't. I'm like, no, you didn't. Don't lie to me. So here's a snack. All right, go ahead. And I just slip them the snacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's why I be spending $5,000 doing all this stuff. The thing about
it is, Audrey, like, you know what I do my political lives. Mm-hmm. I had a student who draws. Okay. And Audrey, just unbelievable talent. And I showed him another artist on TikTok, Alan Wolford. And honey, when I tell you that man is bad, he ADDDD.
Oh, okay.
Looks like you could reach out and girl, he did one of Denzel Washington, and I tried to reach through the phone and touch Denzel's face. That's how alive his drawings are. And Audrey, I started showing him his videos. I said, he was like, oh man, what kind of pencils does he use? And I was like, well, most of the time I said he uses charcoal. He was like, I don't have charcoal pencils. But he did a bunch of drawing. He drew Venom from Marvel.
Yeah.
He drew Storm. He drew Simba from The Lion King. And I had all these on my desk, and I'm like, how do I help this kid? And I was live one day, and I said, can I have a moment? And they was like, yeah. And I turned my camera on, and I showed the pictures that he drew. And I said, y'all, this is one of my students, and this is his work. Mm. He says he wants art pencils, charcoal. I said, I don't know if you guys can help me, but I was like, you know me, I don't ask for anything. Right. But if you can help me, Audrey, by the end of that thing, they sent me like $400.
Oh, bless it.
I went on Amazon. I got him the charcoal pencils. I got him a whole art kit.
Right.
Got him an art kit. I went and I said, now, do y'all want me to send this back to you? She said, get whatever you use the rest of it to get whatever you need for your students. I went got sent Kleenex, wipes, pencils. I looked into getting a few, about 2 calculators, just stuff that I could know that my students would need.
Right.
But the thing about it is, when people know that you're trying to do right, they don't have a problem supporting.
Right.
And so, like I said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to have that avenue and that opportunity. So I don't know, Audrey, maybe we need to see what we can do.
Yeah. I'm for it. I'm for it.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll talk. We're going to give each other. How come we don't have a phone number?
Right.
We ain't exchanged phone numbers yet.
I don't think we have.
We're going to do something about that too. We're going to have to inbox phone numbers because, man,
Right. I will be doing that. Yes. Let me do that.
But I'm like, man.
I'm telling you. But it's so weird because it's like there's so many, and as I keep calling us, like soul friends. because there's so many soul friends that I'm catching here on TikTok. There's some soul friends that I have on some on Instagram because of TikTok or Facebook. And it just seems like we talk and we message each other. Yep. But we never exchange phone numbers because for some reason, I just never think of it because I'm on my phone when I'm messaging you. So in my brain, I'm thinking, I have this person's phone number. No problem. Yeah. But you're like, wait, I really don't. Yeah. So we'll do that. That's definitely going to happen.
And I'm going to tell you, and the reason why I'm telling you this too is, you know, that they're supposed to have that hearing about TikTok next year.
That's true.
So if there's anybody on here that you want to get in, that want to be able to possibly reach afterwards, y'all better start connecting.
That's true.
You know
I'm almost like, there's a couple people that I know that we did exchange phone numbers, and one, he was leaving because it started like every time I see a live or I see something, there's like a commercial at the end. Like it's like, all right, enough of the infomercials.
Okay. They were interrupting people's lives today because of Black Friday to try to push people to the algorithm to buy.
How many shoes and how many 15-day cleanses do I need to see? I'm like, I look at that video one time and all of a sudden it's on that algorithm like nonstop. Girl. Look at this and hey, do you want to have these lollipops and do you want to have like this? Oh my good God, people! All right, okay, cool,
cool. Know what, though, Audrey? Now, and I was like, I don't know about that, but you know what? I found some nice little threads on this app.
True.
Real talk.
True.
Real talk though.
And
for us that aren't just, you know, pinkies.
Right.
Okay. I got some like a jumpsuit. Okay. I bought one jumpsuit, and I mean it's so comfortable, girl, and it's got pockets.
See?
And I'm just like,
all fashion designers.
I got them in every color. Yes, I did.
All fashion designers, we need to listen up. Give us pockets. Yeah. Just give us pockets. You want us happy? Give us pockets.
I'm gonna send you the website.
Yes,
I'm gonna send you the thing, Audrey, and you're gonna go through there and look, and you're gonna be like, girl, I know you lying.
Now we gotta make sure I'm 6'1" because I really don't want these things cutting up, making them look like culottes. Like I can't. I want it to the ankle. Okay.
No, because I'm not tall. I'm not exceptionally tall, but I'm 5'8.5".
Okay.
Okay, so you know, yeah, I'm not. Listen, I'm not fun size.
Okay.
So yeah. But girl, yeah, jackets, tops, and all that stuff, and waiting on my shoes to come.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I got the sneakers. I don't think I got the comfortable ones, the really comfortable ones, but they're pretty good. And I'm like, all right, reasonably priced.
Mm-hmm.
The African.
I ain't been in heels since I was 15, and my mama got so you getting on my nerves. All that clunking you doing while you trying to learn, and I stepped out of it and did not go back.
Mm-hmm. It's time.
But I'm all for the comfort shoes now.
Yeah,
baby, you give me a good sole where my feet feel like butter. I'm listening.
Right.
I got to have in every color.
Right. Mm-hmm. Especially after the pandemic. I don't know what it was because it seemed like everyone's foot, especially mine, got wide. I'm like, how is my feet getting wider? Why? Okay. Why is this happening? Can't fit in some cute shoes. I'm already like wearing close to a size 12 now. Jesus.
Yeah.
Cockroach kills.
I'm an 11. I'm an 11. So listen.
And then Payless left. Payless left me. I don't know what to do.
And girl, let me ask you this, and tell me if I'm lying though, Audrey. If you notice it, what is going on with Nike?
What happened with Nike?
I went to the outlet.
Oh.
And I went to the outlet and I got a size 11. Why them shoes feel like they was a 9?
Yes.
What are they doing?
It's narrowing.
Yes.
They're doing the rounding of their toes. It's not like how it used to be, like a little wide and then narrow.
Those Nike Airs used to be the bomb.com when we was coming up.
Yeah. Comfortable.
Yes.
No.
You can't tell me nothing. I had it on with a dress. Whatever I had on some Nikes because they was comfortable.
Right.
Them Nike Airs was off the chain back when I was a kid.
So now it's like Under Armour. And
yes,
the other one that's really coming up is Skechers.
Yes, and yep. I wore a lot of Skechers coming up. They used to be really comfortable too. Right. But you know what? I haven't tried, and I've been hearing a whole lot of them On the Cloud shoes.
Yes, I've
been hearing a whole lot about them shoes. On the Cloud and that hoka, right? Hoka or something.
That's what I was trying to get, but I think I got the wrong kind. I think I got the wrong label. Yeah. But I'm telling you, like, it's getting to the point where all those little commercials at the end of everyone's, lives or their posts and all that stuff. But like, it's true. We're getting value, and it just seems like it's getting powerful. And if they can't control it, let's get rid of it.
Yep.
And
that's the long and short of it.
I mean, like, I don't even know. I don't know. I could stress about it, but I'm just like, I can't. I already got so much other stuff that, just like how you said, you got a young man that draws. I have tons of kids that used to I look at their stuff and they're like, you want to look at my portfolio? I'm like, oh, sure. You guys are bringing it to me. And then you see the talent.
Just unbelievable talent.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, some of them became tattoo artists, and they're killing it, and they're still growing. Some of them, I know my friend's daughter, she's running a small business right now that she's starting to do illustrations and books, as well as right now, because of the holidays, like, she's doing their Christmas windows, like doing Christmas scenes on windows.
Right. Yeah.
And she's starting to build up her business that way, which is awesome. But it's just like, there's so many other artists out there that because they don't have the supplies, or they don't have the support, not so much someone to kiss their butt, but hey, Daphne, thank you so much for coming in. Not because they don't have like someone to be like, yeah, that's awesome, and it's garbage. Like, they're just like, that's legit, really good. Like, keep writing, keep drawing. But now they're like, well, where's my sketchbook? Like, I've filled that sketchbook up. Now I needed one. And sometimes if they do, you're funny, like when you see people stealing stuff, what are they stealing? They're not stealing anything super expensive. They're like basic stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll look and I'll see somebody like, do you need that? It's like, yeah, I got you.
Yep.
Sometimes how hard is it? Like, I know $12, and because sometimes these journals are ridiculous, but these sketchbooks, I'm like, I need for you to get a blank journal for right now. Okay, can we handle that? But sometimes it takes us to really stop and look and say, what do you need?
Yep. And this and Audrey, I have a friend right now, and just because they're doing what they're doing, I shoot them, some help, right? And the person goes, I don't want to be a charity case. And I said, you're not a charity case to me. You actually helped me get through some stuff that you don't have any idea that you're helping me do. Right. I said, so I'm giving you what you've given me. I said, then on top of that, I said, there was a time when I needed help. When I didn't know how I was going to get this done. And somebody did the exact same thing that what I'm doing for you, they did it for me. Yep. It's my turn now to return that favor to somebody else.
Yes.
Once you get on the other side of something, then you know what you've been through. Everybody knows what they've been through. You know there was somebody that came along out of nowhere that gave you that push in the back to get you across that finish line. There's going to come a time, now that happened for you, there's going to come a time when somebody's going to need you to push them across that finish line.
Yep.
when it comes time for the question is, will you do what somebody did for you? Will you do for somebody what somebody did for you?
And it doesn't have to be big.
That's what I'm learning now.
It doesn't have to be big.
That's what I'm learning. I'm learning that somebody, when I scraped my knee, when I fell down and cracked my lip, somebody was there to put salve on it. Somebody was there to clean it up. Somebody was there to dust me off and get me back on the road. So then there's going to come a time where you can do that for somebody else. Yep. Will you do it? And so that's how I'm looking at things now. Because I know there was a time where I came across people that I wanted to help and I wasn't in a position to do it. Right. But now that I can, now I need to. I have to. So, yeah.
You can't take it with you, people.
Sure can't.
You can't. You can sit there and try to be like, my precious, all you want. You can't take it with you.
That's right.
You can't take it with you. You can't take your heart, your desire. And like for me, I don't have kids, and every kid is going.
I don't either.
Every kid is going to have their own personality, their own strive, their own dreams, and you just have to be there to try to support them whenever they feel like, you know what, maybe that's not what I want. No. You've been saying in my ear for the last 12 years that this is what you wanted to do. Right. We ain't backing down now. What? Because it's hard?
That's right.
Nope, I got you. Go ahead. Let me put both my hands on your back. You want to lean? Go ahead. Right. You can take a break for a second. Go ahead. All right, let's go. Let's push. Right. Let's go. Because we're going to move forward. You can't give up. We give up. And we let our kids give up so easily, so often.
So quick. So quick. Well, I don't understand. I don't want to. Okay, well, we're going to get you some help. What don't you understand about it?
Exactly. Talk to me. Where did I lose you?
You can't let people tap out.
Exactly. And that's why those 2 kids was going into your classroom.
Yep.
And that's why I had, at one point, I had 41 kids in my classroom.
Ooh, girl.
Hot in the classroom. No air. No windows. It used to be a storage room. And but that's what we did. And here's another story. And this is a little with the racial, but it's not going to be too graphic. It was my third year at this particular school. When I first got to that school, I was the only Black female teacher.
Wow.
Teaching math. There was other African-American males. One was teaching social studies. One, I think, was in English. And there was another gentleman who I'm really still friends with that was down in athletics. So my thing is, with me being in math, the other teachers were white, female. There was a couple male. But when I got there, my department chair, she did not like me at all. Didn't want any part of me. Didn't want any piece of me. With me being 6'1", very built, shoulder. Well, that's when I was then. Broad shoulders, right away they want to call me a tranny. Okay, you will do whatever you want to call me. I don't care, but I know who I am. Right. I knew I was hired because of my exterior. The school was basically, as the principal put it, like lily white, and a lot of kids are starting to come in, like a lot of the mixtures. So we want the staff to look like that.
Reflect the student body.
Right. Exactly. Totally understand. Right. I knew the assignment before she even said anything. So there was this one gentleman who was in my classroom. Everything was okay until back to school night. So I'm there. No, this was my second year because I was in the trailers my first year. So this is my second year. So I'm inside the building now. I got from outside the trailers, inside the classroom. And this gentleman came in and I was introducing myself. And I had forgotten that I was a lot of these kids' first experience of being with a black teacher. They never had a Black teacher. And I'm going to be truthful to everybody here. I never had a Black teacher. I'm 52. I have yet to have a Black teacher. Ever. High school, middle school.
When I got to high school, I did.
Nope. Never had one. Wow. So when I'm there, I'm introducing myself. I had a little PowerPoint, and then, they ring the bell and they go to the next period class. And this gentleman walks out and he said, "This N-word is never going to teach my kid." And a couple other people looked at frown. And then I had a couple of people that were like shocked and, "Oh, so nice to meet you," try to kind of skate it. And I didn't have anybody second period. So I'm like pausing, like, okay, this is real. This is it. The very next day, his kid was saying, "Oh, I have to change my class, but I don't want to." And I'm like, "Why you gotta change your class?" He's like, "I just gotta change my class. I was told that I have to change my class." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll miss you." I only had the kids for like a month, but still I was like, "I'll miss you." He was like, "All right." So then the weekend happened. Monday comes. He comes into the classroom. And I'm like, "Wait, what are you doing here? Did you get your schedule changed?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know." And I'm like, "No, you're okay. Well, you have to go to class because I don't want you to be late. I'm not writing you a pass. Go to class."
Right.
Tuesday comes. Same thing. And I'm just like, "Dude," he's like, "I don't like that class. I don't like her. I don't like her." And I'm like, "Well, you have to go to that class because that's your classroom." And he kept going back to his seat. So Wednesday does the same thing. And that's like, "Come here." Because now I'm like, all right, I know exactly. Like I knew, but you keep coming back. You don't want to go. Yeah. So I pulled them out, got the kids an assignment. So yes, my kids were still learning. Left the kids an assignment, pulled them outside. Because I'm like, "I want to talk to you. I'll write you a pass." "You see that seat?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's your seat." He looked at me like, I'm like, "No, that's your seat. I'm going to write you a pass to go and change your schedule right back. And then you come back and get your seat. The only thing is I want you to come in here and I want you to work. When you work, we're going to be good." And he was like, "Okay." So I wrote him pass. He went on. In class, I guess he was down at the counselor's office. In class, all of a sudden, you know how they always interrupt every 2.2 seconds. And they were like, "Oh, Mrs. Conner or Miss Conner, when you get a chance, can you come down to the counselor's office?" I'm like, "Sure, not a problem," because I know exactly what you want. Right. So finished up with class, went down there, and I was like, "Well, hello." She's like, "Hi," really nice lady. And I was like, "I know what this is about. I have a feeling that the father wanted him to change his schedule." And she's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, I know. But he wants to be here. He keeps coming into my classroom because he wants to be there. If he doesn't do well, I'll take the wrath of it. I'm a grown-ass woman. I can handle it." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So then he comes back to class. He's doing well. He's doing extremely well. Right. He actually got an A in my class. I feel like I always get kids A's, but no, trust me, there are some kids that had D's and C's, but but he got an A. And here's the shocking part: this was the first time he's ever gotten an A in a math class, ever. And then on top of it, I think it was his junior year, because I didn't have him the following year. He just always come to visit me during lunch. Then graduation comes. So, graduation is my first graduation. Yeah, because I didn't go to the very first one. I didn't know much of the kids. So then it was like my third year. That's when graduation was going on. And I was walking in a hallway. Father's walking towards me. I'm walking towards the father. And I was like, "Why do I know this guy?" I'm like, "Oh, it's that father." It finally came back to you. Flashback. So you know what? I'm like, head up high, Audrey. Be proud. So I'm walking and I look the man right in the eye. His eyes are looking down. And next thing you know, he puts out his right hand. And I put out my right hand. And he was like, "Thank you." I was like, your son did everything, and your son is amazing. Don't let, and I remember saying, don't let past things get in the way, ever. I love your kid just as much as you do. And he was like, thank you. And then he walks again. He didn't say much. He said thank you a couple times. And that was like basically a whole volume of stuff. Sometimes it's like, those are the things that I'm just like, I have to be in these positions.
Yeah.
And even with tutoring, I was given a lead by another tutor, and we talked, and came up on the call just like I would come up here. And the kid came on first, and she was cute as a button, and she's waving, and I'm waving back. I'm like, hi. And then all of a sudden the mother comes like, oh, hey, oh, you're Black. We can't do this. Shuts off the Zoom. Little girl's face is in shock, like, and I'm like, I think I was doing the same thing, but I couldn't see my face because I was like, did that seriously happen? And that was 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Wow.
And I think what hurt me was I couldn't help that little girl because of someone else's getting in the way.
Yep. Foolishness.
So I always put my name and my face on every single flyer, so you know exactly who's going to be your tutor. Right. That's the reason why I have a video on my website, so you can get to know my personality, because I want you to see me. And yes, some people hired me because I was a Black woman, but they didn't know how good I am.
Right.
That's the thing. A lot of people didn't know how good I am until I'm there. And that's why I speak to all these other tutors out there to say, look, sometimes you got to put yourself out there. You got to prove yourself in order for people to want to sit and listen and want to learn from you. So, like I said, I use my experience to help others build themselves up.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but this is what we got to do.
Yeah.
This is what I got to do. So this is one of those crazy nations. I love this. My God. 2 hours and 12 minutes. I'm probably going to say goodbye to my Facebook people and probably hang out for a little bit for TikTok. But I just really feel that we're making this thing called life harder than it has to be.
Yep.
And I don't understand. And there's times I don't understand, maybe because I'm naive, maybe because, the way my parents raised me, they are just like, we want to protect you and keep you in a bubble. And once I went to college, that bubble burst in so many ways, some positive, some negative, but it had to burst in order for me to grow.
Yep.
So, I just want to put that stamp on that world. And the fact that I have you and so many other people that believe in me, that's helping me to believe in myself. And that's huge.
And the thing about it is, Audrey, if it wasn't for a little 5'8",
right? Right? I know.
5'8" white boy from New York.
Rochester.
Rochester. Never would have met.
But because he has such a great personality.
Yeah.
And for who he is, and then it expanded. It was like you, and there were so many other people, like Amber and so many others, that it just connected. And that's the best thing about life. You don't know who you're going to connect to. It's always like that old saying, like, how does everyone connect to Kevin Bacon or something like that?
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. But you know what? The thing about I haven't seen April. Have you seen April?
April.
The other black girl that used to hang out with him as well.
Amber. Yeah.
Is it Amber?
It's Amber.
Why did I think her name was April? I don't know.
Because her initials
Amber.
was AP. So that was probably why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a while we talk. I haven't talked to her in so long because I've just been like, but I do see like she's on my FYP. But that's another thing. Like sometimes you guys are not on my FYP. Like it'll just be, I'm just starting to get people like say Daphne that was here earlier or Kelly that was here earlier. For the longest time, I wouldn't see any of them. And so, I'm like,
you know, what I realized too, and I'm gonna tell you, every now and again, TikTok will go and do when they do their upgrade, they will juggle your algorithm.
Oh yeah, they did.
And I started seeing people I hadn't seen since I first started on this app again. And I'm like, okay, so when they do that, you have to go back to your whoever that person's page is, unfollow them, refollow them, and then go up there, hit the bell, and read all their lives and all their posts. You have to do that every so often to keep them, you know, at the forefront.
So much.
And that's something I learned.
So much. This is like a job. Like doing this whole social media stuff.
Girl.
Oh my word.
They doing the most. The child TikTok be doing the most. So
I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Because I know like followers, and then I'm trying to build up my business one, but I feel like there's more followers here than my business one, and I don't know. I'm just trying to figure life out. Like, all right, mortgage, bills, blah blah blah, and then just trying to do what we can for this business. So just to make people happy.
And I had to go take the paraprofessionals exam.
Oh.
And I was like, and they didn't really tell me what was on it. They was like, you just have to take it and you got to get this amount to pass.
Right.
Girl, I was kind of like losing my mind. I was sitting there like, well, we'll see if we make it or not.
When did you take it?
What is this? This is December. I took it back in September. So I had already started back working in classes and had to end up taking it. I did pass.
Okay.
I did pass. But girl, there was a section of the math section.
I was about to say, like, how'd you do
it? Baby, when I tell you, I sat there and I switched and titched in that seat. Like, Lord, if you don't do something, you're going to have to intervene, because I promise you, I don't remember none of this stuff.
Right. But they make it harder now, because in order for you, it used to be a middle school version and then secondary. Like middle school was like from 6th to 9th or something like that. And then high school was 7th through 12th. But they say now, everybody should know all types of math. And I'm like, no one wants to know all types of math. Some people have specialties. Some people are really good at calculus. Some people are really good at algebra 2. Like, just why are you messing things up? Like, we're already at a shortage. So you're making it more selective? That don't make no sense.
Y'all doing too much, man. I don't know what you got me out here. But honey, I sat there, and it was three of us taking the test. And when I tell you they made me take off my watch, they made me take off my watch, turn in my phone. They was like, I'm like, my watch? They was like, it's a smartwatch. I'm
smartwatch.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
People are being really inventive. They will do anything and everything.
I was like, okay.
Right. Hey, Running Wolf.
Thank God I passed it.
I know. But see, that's the thing. We have to jump through so many hoops just to do a job. And I bet you most of the stuff that you were really getting into, you're not even going to use. But we got to test that we know it. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. So I grandfathered in right at the perfect time. But it took me 11 times to pass the praxis. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very transparent. It took me 11 times. It was just like I sat down for the test. As soon as I got home, let me register for the next one. Like that was basically it. And then the last time I did it, they're like, "Oh, here's your refund." I'm like, I don't know. This is the happiest day. Like I could have won $1 million that day, and I'm like, all right, yeah.
Well,
but this,
they didn't give me my money back. They didn't give me mine back.
Right.
I'm like, Arkansas tight, but see, Arkansas, they make you pay weekly. They literally have you pay weekly, not weekly, yearly taxes on your vehicle. Property as a property tax.
As a property tax
on your car. Yes, ma'am.
Wait, what?
Yes, ma'am. Kid you not.
So
yeah.
Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop.
Yeah. But you know what made me mad when I found out? We're not doing all that. All you got to do is that. Come on here. Come on. And yeah. Bill Clinton is the one that did that here. Set that up. I said he set that up and then left.
Right.
Need his whole head whooped for that foolishness. Dropped that in people's laps and kept on going.
We're just trying. we're just trying. Like I said, like you leave Audrey alone for a month, she's gonna create stuff because all these little tidbits, like classes, like I sat down and I put a course together for foundational algebra, for GED, math only. Because you have me doing English, you're gonna fail. Also ASVAT and Acuplacer. So it's like all the math that's incorporated in all four of those. And there's very lot of similarities, but there is more, say, statistics with the ASVAT than there was for the Acuplacer. But regardless, you got all those. So I got all those courses together. I'm just putting all the bits and pieces together so I can release that. I'm trying to release everything in like December. Then, like I said, the activity books that I have here, which I might be doing a couple lives with these for girls, like want to be in girls groups, want to do like some activity coloring books. There's literally like 133 pages. So it's not light. So it's like have fun, enjoy. And then on top of it, the journal, once that gets officially released from Amazon, if you want, you can follow me on Amazon. Just type in Audrey Codner. My name is up yonder. But then you can just type in Audrey Codner and you can just follow me. Anything new that I put up on there, you can get it. And then also the math notebook. If anyone from 7th through adults that wants some organization with their math stuff, more than willing to help you with that. And I always try to make it into like almost like an interactive notebook. If there's like some stuff you want to tape in, you can. If it's some of the organization of the notes itself, you can. So I know. And it's like I just said, look, everybody else is selling stuff for Black Friday. Why not let it be Black Friday, Black Saturday, Black Sunday? It's a Black weekend. So whatever you guys need. So I'm just trying to find all those supports. And what else am I doing? Yeah. And almost forgot. My Two Tutors Talking, or my You Can Tutor. That's what I wanted to do. My tutor mentors. If anyone that's an educator that's thinking about tutoring, before you spend thousands of dollars on a program and you just want someone to give you the nitty gritty and how to get started, I'm doing a You Can tutor mentorship. And I'm doing it rather cheaply, not cheaply as in structure, but price wise. And you get the support from me. Like I'm basically telling you everything. One thing I can definitely tell you is create a flyer, use Canva. Canva is making changes. Like they're running things. If you ever want to do anything cute and pretty and all that stuff, use Canva. It's awesome. Cheap one, like the free version or the pro. You got that. Make a flyer, share it with your family and friends, let them put it on their social media, and then also go local. Couple places you always get it where people standing, like sushi restaurants. I got people from that. Chinese restaurants. I got people from that. Coffee shops. I got people from that. The local barbecue pit place. Definitely got people from that. Hell, I got a public official has a son, and I worked with his son for a couple of years. Because they went to a barbecue pit place one day and they saw my flyer and they're like, oh yeah, let me see if I reach out to this lady. And I'm like, wait, aren't you the... He's like, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, this is what we're doing. All right, cool. He's like, yeah, I have a kid that's struggling. And I'm like, yep, I'll keep my mouth shut. But it's like a lot of people will say that you can make millions. You can make money tutoring. But the main thing is to get clientele. And you just have to know how to push. And it has to be something that you desire. If you're just trying to make it into a money thing, just stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
It's got to be passion. It's got to be heart. You take care of the few kids that you have, and they're going to speak for you. Exhibit A. I'm starting to be popular in Alaska. And some people in Florida, Texas, Massachusetts, Virginia, what is it? North Carolina, South Carolina, California. That's another one. And I had a couple of students in Washington State last year. So it's like all it takes is you get to know people, they see what you're doing, they're going to speak on it once they really feel that there's a connection. So, and that can go for anything. It doesn't have to be for tutoring. I have a friend that started a goat farm, and he's actually doing pretty good with his goat farm. Congratulations. I don't know anything about goat farm, but if that's your heart and that's your passion, do it. And if you're an educator, I know you're tired. Enjoy this weekend, but in 3 weeks, it's time for Christmas. And that's when you really want to relax, because when you come back, it's midterms. The school year is basically halfway done. Sorry, someone's trying to come in. So then basically, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Get any kind of changes or any kind of kids coming in, trust me, the school year is halfway done right now.
Yeah.
Let's be truthful. So once you get past Christmas, you got testing. Then February, you got a couple disruptions here and there, maybe some snowstorms. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. And then March sucks. It always sucks. And then boom, it's either spring break or Easter break or both. And then you come back from those, you got more testing, and then school's out. Your school year's halfway done, so you're gonna be okay. Just hang on. Just hang on, and then enjoy Christmas. Just take a breather. Don't give any assignments over break. Stop it. Get yourselves organized, people. It will help me as a tutor because right now I'm basically unemployed until Monday. But at the same time, don't give out some elaborate. Make it easier for yourselves. Just do something simple before break.
Yeah. I don't know why people want to torture themselves like that. No way.
Right.
It don't make sense. It really don't.
No, it doesn't.
No. You out here trying to be a wonder for no reason.
Right. Wonder why you're doing this, and then you come back, notice that you didn't grade anything over the pile. Don't even try to bring that bag of stuff like, oh, I'm going to grade these over the weekend. No, you're not. Don't lie to yourself. Don't do
it. Girl, I'm telling you, because I'm telling you, and I got up this morning and I started having that Monday. Because it's always there when you get off of work and be like, I got one good day, and then I'm back in mode. My Sundays are basically preparing for Monday.
Yes.
And it's just like
the fear. That fear thing, and okay, let me prepare for this, and let me get this, and let me grade that, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. And I'm like, just suck it up. Just go back, because you're gonna have like what, 3 weeks when you guys get back on Monday.
Yep.
You can do it. And you know there's gonna be some kind of Christmas.
The last day is the 20th.
Oh, your last day? Yeah, you are exactly 3 weeks.
Yep. And
then you can't really count the 20th, because that's just looking at the kids that you're sitting there like, why are you here?
Glazed over.
I'm not teaching. You know that. We're gonna play Minute to Win It. Like literally, get a couple classes together and you play Minute to Win It. They will love you forever.
Yep.
Even the older kids, they love those things.
Because they be like, you know what? You're the first teacher that I ever had that I really liked. And I was like, well, thank you.
Right?
I'll take the compliment.
Right?
Or like the older folks say, appreciate you, not appreciate you.
I'm telling you. But if anything, this was awesome. I'm gonna wrap this up. 2.5 hours is, I think it's enough. I think people on Facebook were like, we done. like Audrey, we done with you. We love you.
I'm on my way out to my relatives.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a thing today and got a thing tomorrow. I'm like, y'all finna make my weekend full, ain't you? All right.
So if anything, thank you so much. I'm going to message you so we can finally exchange phone numbers. Only known each other for like what, 1.5 years, close to 2.
Yes.
And then we'll talk a little bit more on how we can get ourselves together and maybe even do this again. I'll see if I can come on live again tomorrow.
Listen, I'm up for it. As long as we can plan our thing and get together and we can do the thing, girl.
That'll be awesome.
All
right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining. People that came in and came out, people that stayed, that are still here. I still love it. But if anything, whatever you like, go ahead and go to my Amazon if you want to follow me there, if you want any of the books, or if you want to get more information about the books, just let me know. All right, have a lovely evening. Thank you so much again, and I will talk with you soon. All right, bye now.
Bye.